everybody, it is Erin or Gimme Yarn 418 and thank God it's finished. I'm here with a TGIF video for you for the first time since the new year. I will just give you a little bit of a backstory why I haven't made a video. I haven't been able to make a video because we were out of our house for a week because we had no water. And basically, we had to have dug up from the road to our house and have all new pipes put into our house from the town's water supply to our house, not in the house. And it was stressful and it was horrible. That's all I'll say. So that took place on Monday and Tuesday of this week, and we now have water. And to understand what a big project this is, you can see the road from our house, but only in certain spots, and only if you, I mean, it's way in the distance. We have a very long driveway. And so we have a bottom lawn, that's our front, well, we have two front lawns. We have a high up lawn, we have a low down lawn. And our front lawn is now all dirt. All next to our driveway is now all dirt. All the way down to the road. And that's fine. We can plant seed in the spring, and we don't use that lawn all that much, so it will grow. I'm not worried about that, but it was a stressful beginning to the year. And now we have a slow drain in our bathroom, which is what I need to tackle next. Figuring out, we've tried everything I can think of. We've snaked, we've used drain cleaner, we've taken the overflow off, and I just can't figure it out yet. Neither can Kristen, so I am going to be a Google machine and a YouTube machine and try and see if we can DIY fix it ourselves, because I really don't want to hire a plumber. So, long story short, short story long, that's what happened to me. In the meantime, I have gotten a lot of stuff done. So there are 3 projects that I have sent out in my absence that I only have photos of. But I am going to insert pictures of them right in a row here. The first one is a baby doll that I made for my niece Sadie. I made it out of Lion Brand Pound of Love. The second is a pair of convertible mittens that I made for an order, and that was made out of Bernat Mosaic in the ninja color. And the last thing is a cowl neck poncho that I made out of I Love This yarn in the color ivory. I was looking to see if I had a skein. I do have a skein, but it's buried. And those are all pay for patterns. All the links, as always, for knit and crochet patterns can be found on my Ravelry page, and I will insert a picture of those 3 items here. The other finished object I have made, but I don't have because I cannot pry them off of Kristen's feet, are I made 1 pair of fleece socks. And let me tell you, these socks were, I could not think, because it says in the pattern that the stretch has to go in a specific direction, and I cut the socks out 4 times with the stretch in the wrong direction. I finally did get a pair, cut properly, sewn properly, and Kristen loves them and hasn't really taken them off much since, and I told her she didn't have to take them off for this video because I have some in-progress ones to show you later on. And I will leave a link. That is also a pay-for pattern I got on Etsy, and I will leave a link to that in the description below. Okay, so I have a stack of finished objects. I have a stack of works in progress. So we'll just get into it with finished objects. The first thing I made on my Addy for Kristen, and then I picked up and knit a couple rows on each side. It is just a little cowl because it's been frigid here. It's been below zero most days in January. This is made out of the same yarn that I made Dewey's sweater out of. I think it's Loops and Threads Charisma in the Dockside colorway. And it worked out really well, and I just used up the scrap until it was gone, and thankfully it ended up being the exact right length. Where's my pencil? I have like mega notes here. The next thing I finished was Molly's sweater. Now Molly's sweater I knit by hand. I hand knit the back, like that part that goes on her back. And I cranked on my Addie the belly. Dewey. No, you can't do that while I do this. The next project I finished Molly's sweater. I'll tell you that the back portion, the part that goes along her back, I knit by hand. And the belly portion I knit on the Addie and put in some waste yarn, and then I did some ribbing on both sides, and then I sewed up the seams. So, she's a big dog. Let's just say that. I should have had her model it for you, but it goes like this. It looks enormous, but she looks really cute in it, and she actually kind of likes it, and it was fun. Would I knit her another sweater? Maybe. It was fun, and it's fun. I mean, I'm not going to make her wear it, but maybe for pictures, a picture of the three of them, all wearing their sweaters, I would. The next thing I finished, you guys have seen fairly recently when I did my steeking video, I finished my Ginny cardigan, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's not blocked. My ends are woven in, but not trimmed, because I don't trim my ends until after I block, just to be on the safe side in case there's some give. And this is knit out of wool I got from my local sheep farm. And can you see the owls? Oh my god, I love it. This pattern is from Interweave Knits, the unofficial Harry Potter book. And here's where I cut my sweater along the front, and I picked up and I knit the ribbing. I'm really not that great at doing this, huh? I can't see what I'm showing you. But I did want to show you the buttons, because these are some of the antique buttons I got last year, and they were the only buttons I had the appropriate number of, and they were the most perfect buttons for the sweater. And I love this. I can't wait to block it. Not block it. Yeah, block it. Wash it and block it. It's a little bit scratchy because it is 100%, I think, Vermont wool. I don't think. I know it's Vermont wool. And wear it. It'll soften up because I'll soak it and put in some hair conditioner if I need to. So I love that, and that took longer than I thought, but shorter than I thought at the same time, because I had to take a big chunk of time off in the middle when I got busy with Christmas knitting. The next thing is another long-term project that shouldn't have been. It is Kristen's socks. This is knit out of String Theory Colorwork in the Resistor colorway, which I got on a D-stash. The heels are knit out of just some plain solid black fingering weight. Dog hair, no extra charge. I used the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and this is just a 3x1 rib, instead of one being a 3x1 rib and one being a 2x2 rib. And she'll be excited that she can wear these now, because I don't let her wear her knit socks until I show them. The next thing I finished was for the shawl knit and crochet along. You have until February 14th, I believe, to finish your projects, and I will be giving a couple prizes away. You can find all the information for that on the TGIF board on Ravelry. I knit the Semi-Precious shawl, which was a free pattern on Ravelry. I believe it was from Knitty. I can't quite remember. And the yarn I used is Riot, which I was gifted by Sarah, S.E. Hepworth, and I loved it, and I love the way it came out. And when I first was making this, I just couldn't see myself wearing a shawl, but now that it's done, look at how pretty that is. I can see myself wearing this. And I would knit this pattern again. It was a lot of fun, and it was fairly easy. A lot of yarn overs, but I did do a lot of tinking. But even with all the tinking, I really enjoyed every minute of knitting the shawl. So that's that. And my final finished object, 11 minutes in, is yesterday. I was supposed to be doing something else, and then a pattern popped up on Ravelry, and I immediately cast on because what else would I do? And it was for a pair of boot cuffs, and it's called the 2-needle boot toppers cuffs. I made the small size. I cast on 28 stitches, and I knit 10 repeats, and then I used the Kitchener to seam them up instead of the 3-needle bind off. Ooh, that's really washed out. But there they are. They're not going to be for me. I don't know who they're going to be for. This is out of, I love this yarn in the ivory color because I just had it hanging around. Some leftovers. But I'm pleased with them. I think they came out pretty nice. So that's my FOs. Do you want to see my works in progress? First I'll show you my spinning. I'm spinning Friends in Fiber in the Bollywood colorway. I'm not done. I want to attempt to do a Navajo ply, but I need to practice. So I've spun 4 ounces of this. I have 2 bobbins of it. One is still on the wheel, so I'm not going to take it off because that would require me to pull everything apart. So my next adventure in spinning is going to be to attempt to Navajo ply, but I think I'm going to get some already made yarn and practice with that because I don't want to waste all that spinning time on that. And my knitting works in progress. We'll start at the beginning. Having received no love, I have the little scallops hat. This is out of Lion Brand LB Collection 100% Superwash Merino that I got at Stitches. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. No reason that it hasn't gotten any love other than I've been trying really hard to finish up a lot of projects that have been hanging around for a while and that are a little bit bigger. The next project I'm working on is another African flower project. And this was a challenge because, as you know, I'm not buying any yarn, so I had to make sure I had enough in my stash, and as it is, I'm not exactly sure I have enough, but if I don't, I'll make do. I've made all the flowers, and this pattern is called Miss Woolly. I do not have this up on Ravelry yet, but it will be shortly because it's actually going to probably be done shortly. And that's a lot of fun. I like making those. They're fun. The next thing I have is knit out of Desert Vista Dye Works Viso in the Laser Tag colorway, and it is the Fruit Stripe Gum Socks, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. I have also I have edited it. I can't speak. I have modified it to use the Fish Lips Kiss Heel because I really liked it. So here's one, and here is the other one. Now, I took a page from the What You Swatchin' podcast for my heel, and what I did for my heel was I used the opposite end of the ball to knit the heel so that my striping sequence on the front would be maintained, because this is the part that people will see, I will see, and be looking at. And I like how it came out, and when I pulled out to start at the same point on this sock, I actually was at the perfect spot to use the remnant from pulling to get to the appropriate spot to knit the heel. So I was happy about that. And I think these will be done by next week, which would be great. I'm saying a lot. I apologize for that. I know that can be annoying. I had another thing. Oh, it's right here. The other thing that I am working on, which has, well, not working on, is the same Christmas ornament. It's been getting no love, but I'm trying to finish up my active whips, and this is one of them. So this will be being finished up shortly. I said it again. I've also cut out a few pair of fleece socks. And again, I will put a link to where you can purchase the pattern for these in the description. They are fairly easy. They are cut in 3 pieces and then sewn together. And I will have some of these to show you unworn on my next video. I was thinking of making these to supplement my stock at craft fairs, but I'm not exactly sure yet. Still in the ruminating process for that. I am also working on a test project for the Patchwork Moose, and let me just show you that. It's a black and white. This is going to be published in a book, so I don't know when this will be available. She's in the UK, so I don't know if the book will be available in the United States. But he's a lot of fun. And I have all his body pieces. It's really nothing exciting to see. I have body pieces made and things like that. But as always, her pattern is amazing. She's a magician, in my opinion. And I've also been working on a cross stitch. I've been working on this one. And this is from charlottealexander.etsy.com. I actually can show you that. And this is one of the ones I purchased a while ago. That's how much I have on that. I think on Saturday, or I think it was Saturday, I didn't knit or crochet a single stitch. I cross-stitched all day, which is very unusual for me because I don't really altogether... I enjoy cross-stitch in small doses. So, that is all my whips. Now, I do have 2 whips in hibernation. The first one is the Big Sparkly Blanket of Awesomeness. Once I empty out some of my active whips and get things to a more manageable number, I plan on pulling my hibernating whips out. So one is the Big Sparkly Blanket of Awesomeness, and the other one is the Scrap Blanket. The Scrap Blanket is not as bothersome to me that it's not done, because I don't know that I have enough scrap, because I try and use really small balls. I don't know if I have enough scrap to finish it at this point, so that's going to be an ongoing project for some time. Up next, I have a couple projects that I have to make for... Oh, my feet are falling asleep. I have a couple projects that I need to make for an order. I was going to try and pull it out. What I'm making. From this book, which I saw on Jan's channel, Jan, who's the Gypsy Crochet, I will be crocheting this sweater right here. And I will also be crocheting 2 of this sweater, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. And I hope to get those done relatively soon. I had to order supplies for that, which doesn't break my spending freeze, because the spending freeze did allow for purchases that are 100% intended for an order. So, that's what's up next. Two things. My buying freeze, my spending freeze of no books or fabric until April 15th, and no yarn or project bags until at least July 1st. I'm actually doing great. That started on January 1st, and when I looked back, I actually haven't purchased anything since December 11th. So get some bonus time in there. It's been over a month. Sometimes I get a little twitchy. Kristen and I went to Michael's this past week, and I had to avoid the yarn aisle so that I wouldn't be tempted. So that was tough, so that's good. And then my crafty goals of 2014. So far I've knit 1 pair of socks. I'm almost done with my first skein. I've sewn socks from stash fabric. I've done 3 patterns that I've purchased. I've done 2 things on the Addy beyond the basic tube. I've done 2 random acts of crafty kindness. I finished a sweater, I finished a shawl, and I have so far finished 1 charity project. I would say I'm doing pretty well. I'm pretty pleased. Some of them can intermingle. For instance, I don't know if they do. One of the purchased patterns was also a gift of a random act of crafty kindness. I guess that's the only one that crosses. But I can't think. Some other things. I've always said I would never ever knit a sock yarn blanket, and I'm kind of starting to eat my words on that because I've been seeing a lot of people do the mitered square blankets, and I've seen that some people are doing them with small squares and then adding a double-sized square, so it's like 4 squares. And I'm kind of contemplating doing one now. However, I might try and see if maybe I will organize a sock scrap swap on the Ravelry group and see if anybody's interested in that, and we can figure out by weight how much each square takes and see if anybody's interested in that. If anybody is interested in that, leave a comment below or on the Ravelry board, and I will see about setting that up. The other thing that I have that I'm going to be working on, I mentioned that I had a blanket idea in my head to do on the Addy, and I have pulled my yarn for that blanket. It is going to be, if you've ever seen the modified log cabin blanket by the who does it? The Mason Dixon Knitting. That's the feel I'm going to go for with this. Do I know if it's going to work? No, not yet, but I'm going to try it, and I actually might start experimenting with that today. This is all some Red Heart Soft and some colors that complement each other. So we'll see what happens with that, and I have an odd number. I just was wondering if I needed an odd number, so that's good. And I think that's it. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you. When I went to Michael's, I picked this up. Kristen actually found this. This is amazing. I had made this basket to go on my side table where I crochet and knit, and she found this, and I'll show you a little bit. It's just awesome, and it's on a Lazy Susan, and that basket was great, and I'm going to keep that basket. Like, as you can see, I'm using it for a project. This is great because I can actually organize what I'm doing. So I think this was $14.99, and then I used a 50% off coupon or something along those lines. So a little bit on the pricey side, but if you have a coupon, I think it's kind of reasonable. So that's all I have. Oh, introductions. Let's see who's introduced themselves. I gotta open up Safari. Go to Ravelry. Introductions. Let's see. Who has introduced themselves? Okay. Where are we? Gotta get to it. I've marked on my Ravelry who I have said hello to. So the first person that I have is Michelle, or Mini Mitch 7. Oh no, Mini Mitch introduced herself. She's from Ireland. Ooh, Ireland. Sarah Essie Hepworth from Bradford, UK, introduced herself. Fall Little Star, or Brandy, from Shenandoah Valley, Virginia, introduced herself. Danny, Dan J. Girl, Dan G. Girl. She said how to say her name when she was on YouTube, and I think it was just Danny J. Girl. Introduced herself. I believe she's in Ohio. Yep, Southern Ohio. Jessica introduced herself. She doesn't say where she's from. Morgan Moon, or Nicole, introduced herself, and she didn't say where she was from. So welcome everybody to the group. I hope you find things that are interesting on there, and I really hope that you're enjoying my videos. If anybody has any suggestions about what they'd like to see, I do still have a list. Oh, I forgot about that. I'm going to have to get on top of that now that things have calmed down here at home, and go through that list. But I still would love to hear what you guys would like to see in my videos, keeping in mind that I do not have the ability to do tutorials. I record all my videos on my computer or my iPhone, if Kristen is free, so tutorials are not within my realm of capability. So until next time, I hope everybody's doing well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.